gonna do that.
Include that crash westbound on the Poplar. Westbound 44 still heavy past the Poplar, but that crash is cleared as well. And eastbound 64 still delays 157 to 159. Next update at 5:20 from the Miklas Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
News, traffic, and the latest on the Redbirds. This is the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Welcome into Monday on the Redbird Rush Hour. Bernie Miklas, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler, a little D. Snyder on lead vocals. That's how we kick things off, a little Twisted Sister on a Monday. What's up, boys? How we doing after the weekend?
It's all good. Rested and ready, baby.
Good times, good times. Well, it was, we slightly touched on this a little bit earlier, Bernie. It's not so much that it was a bad weekend in Tampa. It's more that it was just kind of, I don't know if you guys agree, just kind of meh. I mean, like the Friday was good, Saturday and Sunday not so much, but I don't know about you guys. I'm not sweating wins and losses as much as I am talking about individuals.
Well, yeah, and the thing of it is the die's been cast for a long time here. I'm not sure why there might have been a minority of people thought that somehow this thing would turn around, but if you go all the way back to May 30th, the Cardinals have the 12th best record in the National League, 25th best record overall. Since June 30th, it's even worse. 29th, the only team worse since June 30th is Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
and they have the worst record in the National League since June the 30th. So, they're not a good team. I'm not trying to be a jerk. They're just not a good team. Period.
And we talked about this last week when it comes to individuals will look good for a little while and you think it's going to turn into something that it actually doesn't. I mean, that's true from a team perspective as well. You'll see them put together a really, really good effort one night and you'll feel like, okay, maybe they can figure something out, and they can't. They just, but this is what 500 teams do, right? Like the identity of 500 teams, they struggle to find consistency.
Well, and it's really hard. This is one of the things I had on the list for today, and I wanted to bring it up to you guys first segment right out of the gate. But it's really hard to show any consistency or anything when your rotation is limping to the finish. I mean, is anybody? I mean, I guess McGreevy mostly has been pretty good since he's been up, but nobody's really like carrying the load. Everybody's kind of on fumes.
Yeah, and I'm going to, I hate to be redundant, but I'm going to go back to what I was saying. I would just add to that, Kev, that if you look at the Cardinals, again, go all the way back to May the 30th, they're 27th in baseball in terms of runs allowed, and they've got one of the lowest runs per game offenses in the league. And then June 30th, since June 30th, Cardinals have scored the fewest runs in baseball by any team, and they're 27th in runs allowed. So it isn't just the inconsistent rotation, which has been a problem since late May, but the offense is incredibly inconsistent as well. So how the heck do you stitch together any kind of winning streak that means anything when you can't count on either thing?
No.
There is zero burnout. I couldn't say it better. There is zero consistency. The only thing that's consistent a little bit is sometimes some of these starting, like Miles Miklas is going to give you more bad outings than he's going to give you good
That's pretty
outings.
consistent.
There we go. That's right.
But outside of that, it's just you see the good version, you see the bad version, and you never know really which one's going to show up.
No. Now we had a question. I'm going to throw it up on the screen from STL Girl 74. Noting I wanted to bring up Mason Wynn, so I figured this is a good time to do it since we got the comment. But Wynn's in the lineup tonight. Do you guys think this is the right move, or should they shut him down for the rest of the season? And we can just kick it off there. I don't know that shutting down for the rest of the season now is necessary, but Matt, you and I touched on it a little bit ago on DGS. Man, a little bit more rest for a guy that's been dinged up for quite a bit of the year probably isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, and I talked to him a little bit. A bunch of us talked to him in the Cardinals clubhouse prior to the game, and I'm going to run a bunch of that audio during the Cardinals pregame show. But I asked him really directly. I asked him, has there been conversations about just shutting this thing down to make sure that you can have as normal of an off season as possible and go into next year as healthy as possible? Because he alluded to the fact that he didn't say it directly, but he kind of said that he doesn't think that this is going to be an off season where rest is just going to heal it. It sounds like it's going to be a little bit more than that. So I'd assume some type of surgery or something like that. That's my take, but he said it's going to be more than rest. So that brings up that question. And he said those conversations haven't even started. They're not taking place. Then as long as this team is still in contention for the playoffs, his goal is to be in the lineup every single day.
I'm laughing because everybody that's not, if you're on the stream, you know exactly what I'm laughing about. If you couldn't see Bernie's face when you said that, Matt, we both kind of went,
I repeat, since June the 30th, they have the worst record in the National League and the 29th record out of 30 teams overall. I'm not sure when this big giant surge is coming that will sweep them into the postseason. But, the thing about Wynn, let me just say this. I've been giving this some thought, right? Because I do believe that Ollie's got a tendency to push players and wear them down and blah, blah, blah. But I did look it up today. And Mason Wynn, in terms of innings and games started, he ranked 16th among shortstops. So it's not like it's a case of they're pushing him beyond extremes or into the extremes. I mean, he's basically middle of the pack in terms of games played and innings played. So I don't know. That's my way of saying I'm not sure about this. Although I do think when the manager can see that a player is tired, the player should get a little extra rest here and there. I think that's fair.
Bernie, I understand your frustration with that. I guess my reaction though is, don't you want the type of player that looks at this thing and says, man, we're 5 games back. There's still a possibility. As much as you or me or anybody else from the outside can look at this thing and say, okay, they are likely not a playoff team. They are very much trending in the wrong direction. I want a group of players that are going to walk into the clubhouse every day and say, we still have a shot at this thing.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but I also remember the song and dance we got before the season about how it's a runway season. So if you got a 3% chance to make the playoffs, and let's just say Nolan Arenado comes back, and that means a lot less playing time for Nolan Gorman. How does that help anything?
It doesn't.
Right. Doesn't. And I think that's to me, the bigger theme is like, I love that Wynn wants to gut it out. I mean, I want all my players to be that way, which is where we get into this. And we've talked about it a lot, the three of us, with Arenado. Like, I don't care if he wants to play. Is he playing well? And will playing less maybe help him play better? Would Wynn's offensive numbers be better if he wasn't physically diminished? I have no idea, but it's an interesting balance between wanting guys to want to play every day, but also giving them what they need. Like, maybe Lars Nootbaar can't play every day without getting hurt. Maybe your team is better with Arenado getting more time off. Maybe Wynn, who's banged up, could use the time now. If he's healthy, play him, man. I don't, if he's good, let him play every day. He's probably, what would you say, guys? One of the 5 to 10 most valuable defensive players in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, maybe we just exclude catchers because it's a different sport, but it's a different position. But like literally every other position, he's probably one of the top 5, 6, 7, 8 guys out there. I want him out there, but I also want a team that's not just going to cave into the player because the player says, I want to play.
Well, that's right. And I think, it's the manager's job is so interesting in today's game because, on one hand, as we all know, the day of the superpower Superman manager is over.
Right.
They all have to collaborate with the front office. Our fan base doesn't seem to get that, parts of it anyway.
Right.
And they think everybody's a puppet. No, then they're all puppets.
Yeah.
Because they all work with the front office, and the front office expresses their wishes about certain things, and the manager is expected to cooperate. But the other thing about that too is, yet the managers today, all of them, I shouldn't say all of them, like Pat Murphy certainly doesn't fit that group. They seem to be reluctant to do anything that's going to tick off players. And I'm not talking about embarrassing players or screaming at them or calling them names, or I'm talking about just saying, hey, I got a better way to go in the lineup. You look tired. We're going to go in another direction the next couple of days. They seem reluctant to do anything to offend players. It's a really strange job, what it's morphed into over the last 20 years or so. Really, really strange job.
Yeah.
We also need to differentiate between reactive off days and proactive off days.
Yeah.
If a guy looks banged up and you're giving him a day, well, it may have already gone too far. But if you're proactive and you give a guy a day off, it's going to extend it more. So it should be more about avoiding injuries, not dealing with injuries. And then when I say injuries, being banged up, being tired, like all negative forces that can impact a player, try to avoid those. Run prevention's a big deal. Maybe we should be talking about banged up prevention.
Yeah, good point. And also, like, offense slides when you're not physically right.
Yeah.
So when you see a 2-month slide from Brendan Donovan, when you see a good hitter not performing, maybe there's more to it. I mean, again, use the Cubs thing, and I know we got to take a break, but the Cubs let Kyle Tucker play with a fracture in his hand. Well, gee, I wonder why he stopped hitting. If you just shut him down for a month, you might get the good guy back instead of a guy hitting $180 for 7 weeks. I mean, I don't know. That's just an example of how it's not just the Cardinals. There are a lot of
that's
teams.
right. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, exactly that. All right, we got more to do. We're going to go up till 5:45 today, 5:50 for the pregame, 6:45 first pitch. Coming up next, we're going to talk power. We saw a 21-year-old who's going to hit 40 home runs this weekend in Tampa. Why is Junior Caminero so much better hitter and more productive than Jordan Walker despite the similar physical characteristics? We'll touch on it coming up.
Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Apply now and save with no application fee through September 3rd. Visit umgc.edu to get started. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
Oh, my Bob! That baby's gone!
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow!
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible!
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! That couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
We started Neovitin because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our 4-ingredient physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This traffic reports a service of Terrace Senior Living of Eureka. Northbound 170 backed up approaching the Rock Road all the way up to 70. It's a little tougher there. South 170 bogs down Delmar most of the way to 64 from a recent crash. Westbound 64 Kings Highway out to Clayton Skinkers heavy. Lindbergh to 270 west of Clarkson all the way to the Boone Bridge. A little slowdown west of K toward Winghaven, and then busy 364 out to 70. 364 west of Youngerman through Mid Rivers is slow. South 270 Page down to Ladou's busy both ways between 64 and Manchester. The southbound side, though, continues heavy all the way down to Gravois. North 270, Dorset Midway up to 70 is also a little slow. If you're on southbound 55, Gasconade Bates, there's a little slowdown northbound at Bayless that we're clearing a crash there. Westbound 44 still backed up between the bridges, and eastbound 64 still stop and go pockets 157 to 159. I'm Roger Brand of the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
You're listening to the Redbird Rush Hour on 1041 KMOX.
I wanna rock!
All right, Redbird Rush Hour, Bernie Miklas, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Obviously, baseball coming your way, 6:45 for Michael McGreevy and Johan Oviedo on first pitch for tonight, 5:50 for that pregame show. Interesting offensive stuff, guys. I mean, I know we get a lot of pushback. I'm sure you guys get as much as I do when we talk about like things that modern hitters need to do to be productive. You know, people like, I don't want to hear about pulling the ball in the air and none of those things. But you know, what's interesting is, and I mentioned that comp, Bernie, you and I talked a little bit about the Caminero Walker thing. And the only similarity really is they both have elite bat speed. You know, that's kind of, you know, that's the thing where you're like, when we saw Walker when he was young, you're like, that's a guy that could hit a lot of home runs. But to hit home runs, you have to do two things. You have to put the ball in play a good number of times, and you got to hit it in the air. And what's interesting is, you know, a guy like Caminero, who is super gifted, doesn't strike out a ton, but when he hits it in the air, he pulls the ball in the air. And I know so many people just like want to poo-poo those things. But, man, here you got a guy who's 21 who does those things, and that's why he's going to hit 45 home runs this year and probably be Rookie of the Year in the American League.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about it, Wheels, because I understand. Listen, man, I'm into the numbers maybe more than anybody because I get a little crazy about it. But, you know, at some point, I'm starting to retrain my mind to not put so much emphasis on bat speed and what this or that or this or that. I mean, you either know how to hit or you don't.
No,
the dude in Tampa Bay knows how to hit.
Yeah,
he knows how to hit. Sees a pitch, he can turn on it. Mm-hmm. He knows what to do. He can propel the baseball, just like J.J. Weatherhold's doing down in Memphis now.
Yeah,
he's figured it out. He gets a pitch he can drive and pull and drive in the air. He'll do it. Walker doesn't have. I don't know what the word is. He seems to lack awareness about what he's capable of doing, what he's not capable of doing, and he's just a mess. I mean, that's why one guy's ranked, and to use a StatCast measure, one guy, the Tampa Bay dude's ranked in the 87th percentile in offensive value, and Walker's ranked in the 12th percentile.
Yeah.
He can't hit. The other guy can. It's as simple as that. I mean, seriously,
you're not wrong. And and the components that go into that are being able to make contact consistently, which Walker's had a real problem with. And then being able to make the right kind of contact, which is, you know, like when you're swinging at pitches down and away, guess what you're not going to do? You're not going to pull that ball in the air. Right? Like it's the combination of all these things. It's like the old school and new school come together, where if you don't get a good pitch to hit and you're going to swing at things you can't do anything with, none of the other things matter.
Think about the journey. So go ahead, Bernie.
I mean, a very quick analogy. It's like football. You know, Emmitt Smith rushed for more yards than anybody in history of the NFL. I don't know, I can't quantify this right now. Emmitt Smith, if you put together a list of like the 200, 250 fastest running backs in the history of the league, he wouldn't be on there.
No.
So, in other words, like Emmitt Smith would not be a StatCast guy in terms of football, but he knew how to run the football, if not as well or better than anybody else. Yep. I mean, incredibly resourceful. There's more to it than just bat speed or 40-yard speed or whatever.
Yes.
I'd be really comfortable with Nolan Gorman. And Bernie, you've talked a lot about this. We saw him kind of take a step back in terms of bat speed as he worked on some things, got where he needed to be, and then started adding some stuff kind of back in.
Yep.
With Walker, I would be very comfortable if it just got back to a point where he was able to limit his strikeouts. And if he's hitting the ball on the ground, let's start there. Make contact consistently. Hit the ball on the ground. I don't care. And then we'll go from there. I won't say I don't care forever, but I'll say that for now, because at least that's fixing one thing. It feels like there's so many different things they need to fix. Maybe just go one at a time. We've talked about power comes, can develop at a slower pace for you guys and everything. So it's just frustrating watching him, because he should be a superstar caliber player based off the tools that he has, and it just hasn't come together.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and it's getting worse.
Yes.
This year's worse than last year, and last year was worse. The first year he was fine. Like if we were seeing the rookie year version, that's a 13% above average. That's perfectly acceptable for a guy his age.
He got sent down for not putting the ball in the air. Now, if he was doing that, but just still making contact, nobody would care. Hey, you're hitting the ball hard. You're getting singles because you're hitting the living you-know-what out of them, and it's too quick for any infielders to get to it. And you've turned into a singles punch hitter. Like that's better than what it is right now.
I mean, it's not ideal. And I guess this is the thing, and we won't sort this out now. This is just more of these are the kinds of things that need to be fixed when you're in A-ball and not when you're getting to the big leagues. You know what I mean? Like when you're making major changes at the big league level, it's really hard. And if you're going to make them, you make them when a guy's younger, and when your struggles are going to be in Palm Beach and Peoria and not in St. Louis.
It's a frustrating situation.
Yeah.
I think we all really want Jordan Walker to succeed, and I have no doubt that he cares.
Yeah.
He probably worries way too much, and I think his confidence is very shaky. And that's such a big part of it too. There's so many times he goes to the plate, you can see his body language. He's frustrated. He lacks confidence. And it's just always tough to watch a talented player in that kind of situation where they don't believe in themselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, such a big thing. We'll talk a bit more about that, because Bernie, I wanted to get back to what you said on DGS today about JJ Weatherholt. So we're going to do that when we come up on the other side, because what you're talking about there, that belief, that confidence, that's good stuff. We'll get into that and wrap up a few loose ends here before we get to Cardinals baseball. Redbird Rush Hour picks back up in a few here on KMOX.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet within 125 miles. We're closer than you think. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2024. See dealer for details.
Community America is stepping up in St. Louis and showing what excellence in banking looks like. Or in other words, they're winning. Opening more branches? Win. Competitive loan rates? Win. Wealth management? Win. Which now makes sense why they asked me, Cardinal shortstop Mason Wynn, to tell you. That's win with 2 N's, not 1. It's time to bank like the Mason winner you are. It's time your financial partner was invested in you. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
Representative Jason Smith stopped a massive tax hike by voting to make the 20% small business tax deduction permanent. This means Missouri's small businesses can grow, hire, and invest in our communities. Visit smallbusinessdeduction.com and thank Representative Smith for protecting America's small businesses. Paid for by the National Federation of Independent Business.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At 5:30 right now, we've got a cloudy sky. It's 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. 5 homes turned to rubble, at least 3 people injured when a house exploded in Blackjack. How significant was the damage to neighboring structures?
Over 20. That includes some of the condominiums as well. So extensive damage in this area.
Blackjack Assistant Fire Chief Paul Peebles, he adds that some of those homes were damaged so significantly they cannot be re-entered by residents.
90% of those homes are red tagged. They're not going to be allowed to enter those residences.
Peebles says the damage was so significant that even first responders couldn't enter some of those homes safely and had to send in cadaver dogs to make sure they were unoccupied. In Blackjack, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The American Red Cross is opening a shelter at St. Angela Marici at 3860 North Highway 67 in Florissant after the explosion. Individuals affected by the blast are encouraged to go there for water, meals, snacks, resources, and a safe place to stay overnight. People don't have to stay overnight. They can just go there for food or other resources. If you've been affected, call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Another sign of a warming relationship between the Vatican and former St. Louis Archbishop Cardinal Raymond Burke. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer has that.
On Friday, Cardinal Burke was warmly received in a private audience with Pope Leo at the Vatican. Although no details of the conversation have been made public, the meeting is widely regarded as highly significant by traditionalists in the church. Cardinal Burke has long been one of the strongest defenders of the Latin Mass. This meeting follows a congratulatory letter from the new pope to Cardinal Burke a couple months ago, an observation of his 50th anniversary as a priest. Cardinal Burke had been at odds with Pope Francis during his papacy over that pontiff's more liberal positions. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
An American soccer player has been subjected to racist taunts while playing overseas.
Juventus says U.S. midfielder Weston McKennie has been subjected to racist abuse following the team's 2-0 season-opening win over Parma in Serie A play on Sunday. The Turin-based club posted a statement on social media saying McKennie faced discriminatory remarks from individuals in the away section while warming down with teammates on the pitch. Juventus pledged full cooperation with authorities to identify those responsible. Parma has also condemned the incident in a statement released Monday. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
Clear sky tonight, overnight 54 for Tuesday, sunshine 77. Tomorrow night 54 for Wednesday, 79. Right now 74 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Insurance companies often have a basic strategy: delay, deny, defend. Some try to grind you down, but they have another tremendous weapon, a software called Colossus. They know which attorneys are great and which are not so great. They know who is likely to take the last offer and who will take them by their scalp, kicking and screaming to trial. They know that they have to pay some firms early and fairly. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. The insurance companies have done their homework. Before you hire a lawyer for your injury case, do yours. Visit forthepeople.com and see our settlements and verdicts for cases like yours. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. When you hire the wrong firm, you may be beat before you start. All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Hey, Bernie Miklas here for Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin Comfort dealer. I'm proud to represent Saliga Heating and Cooling here on KMOX. We have been clients for 17 years, and we were late to the party because Saliga, the one family, has continuously been serving St. Louis family since 1927, nearly 100 years. It's amazing. And we have learned what so many families before us have discovered about Saliga Heating and Cooling. You can 100% count on them because they set the standards for their honesty, their knowledge, their professionalism, their prompt service. When they come into your home, they are classy. And in our experience, we've never encountered, not for 1 second, Saliga Heating and Cooling trying to talk us into something more expensive, trying to take advantage of them knowing we don't know as much as they do about heating and cooling. They go the opposite way because they want to keep our business. They want to keep everyone's business. So you know what that means? They will try to find a cheaper, less expensive solution for you rather than trying to sell you the most expensive repair job or equipment. So you can count on that integrity every time out. They also have a priority club. It's a maintenance plan that's going to save you money by extending the life of your current equipment. That has saved money for the Miklases. I can attest to that time and time again. You also get priority scheduling. You have the comfort of knowing that everything is ready to go, safe, and prepared for every season of the year. Family owned and operated for nearly 100 years. You can count on that Saliga name. And to find out more, go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit CantorInjuryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
This is the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
All right, Redbird Rush Hour, Matt Pauley at Busch Stadium, Bernie Miklas, Kevin Wheeler with you here, getting ready for Cardinals baseball on KMOX. McGreevy and Oviedo tonight, kind of interesting, right? Oviedo has been hurt most of the last, almost 2 years now, year and a half. He's been down, didn't pitch at all last year, and has only pitched twice so far this year. But we know he's an interesting guy who the Cardinals once kind of had in a position to do something, but they were in a different position. They were in their compete mode, so they moved on for a veteran guy. And now McGreevy, they're not the same guy, but it's interesting that your franchise is in such a different place. Like, you would not make that kind of trade now. You would keep the upside young guy, and I think it's a fun matchup with those two guys.
Yeah, and Oviedo was really outstanding the last time out against Toronto.
Yeah.
And McGreevy's just a bulldog. You know, I love the way he just adjusts in games quickly. He never gets rattled by anything. He regroups quickly. He's mentally tough. You don't see the guy whining about soft contact or bad luck or anything like that. It would actually be, the kid is so tough-minded, it would be beneath his standards to whine and make excuses for his terrible pitching when he has a bad inning.
Yeah.
Well, he got hit that one time and they came out. He wasn't coming out of the game. He was fine. Like, he's
yes.
He has a great personality. I'm a big believer that Major League Baseball has to do a better job of, and this comes down to the team level, of highlighting personalities. It's good for the game. It's good for people being interested. I hope the Cardinals are able to get him out there a little bit because he's a really fun guy to talk to and be around. And it's a personality that I think Cardinals fans would enjoy getting to know a little bit.
Yeah. Pitchers with a little sandpaper are great.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and they've done real well in Cardinal history too. They've played prominent roles in getting them through a lot of those top years. And again, we'll see what McGreevy's performance upside is, but I think we all agree that he's got that trait down, and that's a good trait for a starting pitcher to have in the big leagues. All right, one more little bit to go. We're going to check traffic one more time before we get ready for Cardinals baseball, see what's going on the roadways with Captain Roger Brand, and then we'll wrap up the Redbird Rush Hour.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, mostly just slow going, Kevin. This traffic reports the service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. North 170, north of the Rock Road up to 70 is busy. South 170, Ladue to 64 is heavy. Eastbound 64, brief backup through that inner belt area. Westbound 64, Science Center, headed out through about Bellevue. The Spady Ballas area is a little slow from west of Boone's Crossing to the bridge, and there's a little busy traffic approaching Winghaven. Not that big of a deal further out west. 364 slow approaching 94 Mugie. South 270 through Manchester, and south of Big Bend down to Gravois, the busiest parts there. Southbound 55, Gasconade Bates a little off the pace, and we still have stop-and-go pockets on eastbound 64, east of 157, most of the way to 159. Westbound 70 is a great run. Times are always changing, but Penn Mutual stands the test of time. The 178-year Young Mutual Company is leading the way in life insurance. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. I'm Roger Brand in the michaelsflooringoutlet.com traffic center.
All right, just a couple of minutes left. Actually, about 3-4 minutes left before we run out of time and get ready for pregame here on KMOX. A couple of things, and Bern, you mentioned something earlier, and I think this is interesting as a player trait, not so much because we need to keep giving more love to J.J. Weatherholt. He's earning that with his performance. But the trait of belief of a player, and a little bit of what we're talking about with McGreevy there too, right? The trait where a player just has the belief and the confidence that they know what they are. I think that may be one of the most exciting things about J.J. Weatherholt, even with a total tools package that's also really strong.
Right. He's got a great hit tool, but the one thing that independent evaluators said, even though as much as they loved him coming out of the draft, they questioned whether he would ever hit for any kind of power.
Yeah.
Now, J.J. Weatherholt's the kind of guy that has great skill, but he also has great belief in himself. As I like to say, he's got that Bryce Harper vibe. You don't tell Bryce Harper that he can't do something. He'll prove you wrong. So Weatherholt, the more experience he got at AAA, the more he realized if he was selective about it, looking for a certain kind of pitch, he could turn on it, hit in the air, and bomb away. And he's been doing that at Memphis this has been like a recent thing where he's really going crazy. Baseball America's writing about it. Other publications are writing about it. It's like, wait a minute. He does have power. He's just announced it to the rest of the world. He's got power. It was just a matter of him figuring out a way to get the kind of pitch he can drive.
Yeah.
He's a smart hitter, right?
He is, and he had success in Major League Spring Training, and he had a real strong start. He was the first Cardinal to hit a home run in spring. Then he kind of fell back, and then right at the end of his time in Big League Spring Training, he started to surge ahead a little bit. So he's got that confidence of having faced off against big league pitching and having some, been able to have some success. I'm not going to get overly worked up about him not getting called up this year. Like, it'd be fun to see him. I think the fans would enjoy it. But him taking a 40-man spot when Chaim Bloom walks in, I'm all for giving Chaim as much flexibility as you can give, and they've got 40-man flexibility. There's a bunch of guys on there that if they just aren't on there anymore,
it's fine.
It's really not going to hurt the organization. But again, this is not something that I'm going to get all up in a bunch over that he's not going to get called up. He'll be fine. I think he's going to make the club out of spring training.
Yeah, he's so smart. The conscious decision you're talking about, Bernie, he's done a bunch of interviews lately, as you pointed out. He spoke with Emily Walden, who writes for Just Baseball and does a lot of minor league baseball stuff. She does a great job, but she interviewed him, and he talked about an A swing and a B swing. And the A swing is the power swing, like when the circumstances call for it. You got your count, you're getting a pitch that you're looking for. But he said his main approach is the gap to gap, his B swing, and he always has that. And I just love hearing that from a guy like that he knows what will always work, but he also knows now that there's more that he can take advantage of situationally.
Yeah, I mean, we all think about it as like the pitcher versus the hitter. A lot of times it's the hitter versus himself.
Yeah.
Because if you know your swing and you know what your strengths are and you have a mindset where you know exactly how to react from pitch to pitch and what to look for, how to respond to it, you're way ahead of the game. I mean, if you believe in yourself and you are totally, totally comfortable in your own skin as far as changing your swing based on a pitch, based on the count, knowing your A swing and your B swing and when to apply them. I mean, that is a tremendous gift to have that takes you forward into this journey that's going to be in the major leagues next season.
Absolutely. Boys, that's going to wrap it for today. Looking forward to doing this again on Friday. And, of course, Bernie, we'll hear you tomorrow on the Gas House Gang with Ollie and the boys. So you and Tom Ackerman and Chris Ranji will be talking to the skipper tomorrow. Looking forward to that at noon. In the meantime, we'll talk to you guys together, all three of us, on Friday. Matt, have a good pregame show, buddy. Looking forward to the game. It'll be 6:45 first pitch, 5:50 for the pregame show tonight with Michael McGreevy pitching for the Cardinals, former Cardinal Johan Oviedo making the start for the Pirates. And as mentioned at the beginning, Mason Wynn is in the lineup for the Cardinals tonight. So stick around. Pregame's coming up next on KMOX.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your